Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. So we're going to do a little garden tour and get an update for the month of June and see what my garden is looking like. So let's head out to the garden. All right, so before we head out to the garden in the back, I thought I would just do a little update on the stuff that's growing in my front yard. So I've got garlic growing in my grow bags up here, and it is doing pretty well. I think probably in the next month or so we'll be harvesting it. I know that it kind of got a late start because I didn't plant it until March, and around here we always plant garlic in the fall, but it is still doing pretty good nonetheless. I don't know that it'll put up its scapes this year, and that's okay if it doesn't, but some of the stalks are pretty big and pretty thick, like that one down in there, and then others like that one are pretty tiny. So we may have a variety of sizes of the garlic, and it'll be okay. I was hoping to at least maybe get seed garlic out of this batch, if nothing else, but if they're good enough to use, then I may use them. So, but overall the garlic is looking pretty good. So this right here, this bag is empty. I had planted some saved zinnia seeds from last year, and they came up, and then I think something just killed them out, and I just haven't planted anything in that grow bag, and it's just an empty one right now. I've got sunflowers growing back here. This is the dwarf sunspot variety, and I think they're getting ready to put up a shoot, hopefully, to be able to get some sunflowers grown. They are supposed to be obviously the smaller variety, so we'll see. I've never grown sunflowers before, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to do that. And these two bags back here that are empty, they were supposed to be the teddy bear sunflowers, which is what I have growing in this bag, and I had planted seeds in there twice, and they never germinated either time. So I decided to just plant some St. John's wort in there, and I did that just a few days ago, and we don't have anything germinating yet, so we'll see if anything wants to germinate in those bags. Maybe those bags are, got the bad juju, I don't know. But I don't know, we'll see if we get anything to grow in them. Then I have my zinnias. My zinnias are blooming. They're so pretty. They are just, I love zinnias. I just all the bright colors. They definitely are cheerful and so fun to have in any garden area. So I'm happy about these zinnias. These were supposed to have been like a candy stripe variety zinnia, and they were supposed to have white stripes in them, but I don't really see any of that on these zinnias. So they are just a kind of a variety pack, I guess. I don't know. But either way, they're still pretty. I don't care whether they have the stripes or not. I just wanted some zinnias growing. So definitely they bring a little pop of color to the front of my yard, and I love that. And then we've got snapdragons here. This is the Defiance Red snapdragons, and they're just a really kind of a purpley red. They're really pretty, and they're just going to be blooming again because there's a whole bunch more blooms on there. And then there's the Rembrandt snapdragons in those. I've got a few that are wanting to put on some, they've got some buds, so we'll be blooming. And then we've got a Orange Wonder, and that is that one there. It's kind of a yellowy orange. And then we have a Cherry Twist, which hasn't bloomed yet. I see we've got a bunch of buds there, but they just haven't popped out yet. And then I've got some more zinnias back here. This is the Queen series, the Queenie series, Queen Lime series, whatever. So I have a Queen Lime Red and then Queen Lime Blush. And then I also have this bag right here as a Purple Prince. So I guess I have 3 of the Queenie series and then 1 of the Purple Prince. And they're getting close to being blooming. I know that one is getting really close, but we've got buds all over them. So we'll be having more zinnias here before long. So that makes me happy, of course. And then I've got a little bit of chamomile that is blooming down here. I love the smell of chamomile. It is the most delicious smelling flower that I have grown ever, I think. I love it. It kind of to me smelled appley, and then my mom said it almost smells like walnutty too. So it's like this fruity, nutty smell. It's really good. It smells delicious. So there we go. There's kind of a little view of the garden up front. Okay, so I thought we would stop off at the green stalks before we run out to the garden and take a peek at what is going on out here. So my green stalks are full of onions and peppers. That's pretty much what we got going on. And I got some flowers. I threw some flowers in the top of the green stalks. I really like growing flowers up top, so I think in the future that I will always grow a row of flowers on the very top because I just love it that way. So I am pretty happy about these onions. Honestly, we've got some bulbing up, as you can see. They're not huge. They may not be big onions at all, but the fact that I've even got a little bit of growth and a little bit of bulbing up just makes me very happy. So I believe these are the red onions over here, and that one there is not doing too bad. I threw some marigold seeds in and around, so that's what we've got going there. I just wanted a little more color in some of the pockets that none of the onions did anything with. And then this green stalk here is the yellow Spanish sweet, and this one here is looking pretty good sized, as well as that one there. And this is the third one up here that's not doing too bad. So overall, I feel like we've got some decent onion bulbing up. There's even one down there that's bulbing up. So overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the onions, considering they were kind of just a last minute thought. There's one here that's doing pretty good. And planting out the seeds and seeing what would happen growing onion from seeds. So it's definitely a new adventure for me. So if we get any kind of onions at all, I'll be happy. And then here's an update on my peppers, you guys. I think I'm gonna have a few peppers this year. I am a little bit surprised, but I've got, well, you can kind of tell, kind of stand back a little bit, but they've mostly on this front side, they have grown back. A lot of them have really popped back. And I know I've got some jalapenos. I was trying to find a jalapeno to show you. Oh yeah, right down in here. There's a couple jalapenos that you can see, and there's a couple over there. So we've got jalapenos, and then I had a Jimmy Nardello pepper that is also right down in here. It is, let's see if I can pull that leaf out. There, we can see the full pepper. It is pretty much probably ready to go, honestly. It won't probably grow a whole lot more now that it's curled up. But yeah, there's the jalapeno. But I think I may actually get, this is another Jimmy Nardello pepper plant that's got some blooms on it. So I'm just hopeful. We've got, these are the Pippin's Golden Honey, and I've had some blooms on it as well. So although I don't see any peppers forming yet, I definitely have had blooms. So I'm overall really happy about the peppers, considering all things, because they were definitely, you guys know what they look like whenever I had my pepper saga videos up, but I think they are coming back, and I think we're actually going to end up with some peppers. So to be determined if we get more than just the jalapenos and that one Jimmy Nardello, but I'm pretty hopeful. I think they will come back. So all right, well, let's head out to the garden. So we're just going to take a little walk out here. I see a bunny rabbit out there. He's going to take off running here in a little bit. I don't know if you can see his little ears popping up there. As I get closer, he's going to take off. But yep, there he is. There he goes. Run, bunny, run. I just realized that I had left my gate open, which is not a good plan, because the bunnies, definitely, I don't want them in the garden. I was gonna water, and then I decided not to water because I think we had got enough rain that it's enough that everything's got to drink. So this is the situation of the garden, my friends. I need to do a little maintenance on the tomatoes. They have got some yellowing leaves along the bottom that I generally always try to pick off, and that needs to happen. I've got one tomato plant. We'll just start, since we started out with the tomatoes, that's kind of where we'll go. I've got one tomato plant that is pretty much has some kind of a disease, and it is one of the heirloom varieties. But you can see it's just pretty much dying out. And this is, the bad thing is it's got this cherry tomato plant is growing up in it. So, and I've got cherries on that. So we're probably just gonna let that go. And the other one's just gonna die out and it's gonna stay there. But this was a Tiffin Mennonite plant. Yeah, there's more cherries growing back in over here. So yeah, there's no getting this plant out now safely without losing a bunch of cherries. So the Tiffin Mennonite plant is not done very well, but it does have a neighbor right here. And then we've got a couple, 2 or 3 actually. I've got more than that when I start looking in there, but we've got some tomatoes on that one. So we may get to try the Tiffin Mennonite because I planted 2. So all is well. Then we've got our Amish paste, and it is putting on some, and that one there's getting pretty good sized. We've got one there, but these are doing pretty decently. My aromas, that's where I was gonna, but I guess we'll finish talking about the rest of these. These are sun golds. I got like 4 sun golds, so we're gonna have a bunch of cherry tomatoes. You can just see they're loaded, and I've got, oh yeah, this one needs to be picked. There's a couple back in there that I am picking. And then this one here, I picked some off of it last night, so I'll leave those on to ripen. But it's got quite a bunch left too. But I need to go through here and pick off all these yellowing leaves. I just have not had time to do a lot of garden maintenance, and so here we are. So my tomatillos, I've never grown tomatillos before, but I think that the tomatillo is gonna grow in these little things. I am unsure, but they are, I have several of these around, and this one down here is like very big. So I don't know. I've never grown, like I said, never grown tomatillos. So I don't know if they feel like there's nothing in them. They feel empty. So I'm not sure if we've got any kind of stuff on the tomatillos. Like I know that they have to, you know, pollinate, and they generally cross-pollinate, but there's 3 plants here. And so I thought between the 3 of them that they ought to be able to cross-pollinate pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I need to kind of prop these things back up because they are definitely getting out into the walkway here. Yeah, and this is more tomatillos. Then we've got tomatoes. My tomatoes this year, guys, are going to be, we're going to see if we get what kind of crop that we get on tomatoes. Luckily, I have a lot of tomato plants out here, so I'm hoping that we'll get some because of that. But this has not been a good year for said tomato plants. It has been really pretty rainy, and so we're getting some blossom end rot. But look at my cantaloupes here, y'all. They have just literally taken off, and just saw some kind of bug down in there, and I don't know what kind he may be. I'm not sure if he's alive or dead. He doesn't look real alive, but anyway, my cantaloupe plant though looks really good. So we'll see. Oh, and I see my first little cantaloupe baby. Let's see if you guys can see it down in there. Do you see it? Right there. That's the first one that I've seen that actually is fruiting up. So there may be more down in here. I don't know. I'm just looking to see. But yeah, maybe I'm just hoping that I get a cantaloupe or 2. I think that would be so cool, so cool. Last year I had like 2 or 3 little small ones. They tasted great. They just didn't get very big. But I would love to get more cantaloupes. And in the future, my cantaloupes will soon be grown on my other trellis. But this year they're growing on the A-frame because that's what I got. But just look at all this jungle of tomatoes and potatoes. And oh, my potatoes are they're starting to die back, as you can tell. So I'm very happy about that, actually. because soon I'll be able to get these potatoes out of here, and we'll be able to hopefully get in to move some of these tomato plants out. I really need to get some of these pulled out and moved to a different area because they are just, it's like a jungle. It is a jungle. But yeah, so that's tomatoes, tomatoes, potatoes, potatoes. We'll come over and we'll have another view of that. But here's a bunch more tomatoes. If these tomatoes, we're getting some blossom end rot because we've had some weird rain around here, and I'm afraid that the tomato crop overall isn't going to be great this year, but we'll see. Then I've got some zinnias growing out here. We'll see what kind of blooms we get, but we've got some that are getting very close to blooming. And I see I've got a Japanese beetle right there that is wanting to eat those leaves. Oh, or I think it's a Japanese beetle. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. I guess I would rather him eat my zinnias than some things, but I really don't want him eating a lot of my stuff. So we'll see. I may be able to grab him and dispose of him. But I'm sure if there's one, there's more. There's always more. Then this is my Tulsi Holy Basil. It is just so pretty. Oh, this one actually is petaled out. I just now see it. Yay! So we do have our first zinnia bloom out here. Very cool. Very cool. So Tulsi, it's all in there. We've got, oh, looky here, guys. And I'm just gonna let him have it. That there is gonna be a beautiful butterfly. And I knew that they loved parsley. So I guess I'm just gonna let him stay there. He's a little guy. He'll get very much bigger. But yeah, he's gonna eat my part. Oh, here's another one. Oh, so I grow parsley for these guys, the swallowtail butterflies. That's what those will turn into. So, and I know they like parsley, and I can't remember, there's like 2 or 3 plants that they love. But to have 2 of them, I was surprised to have 2 of them out here, but yeah, we do. So I won't be getting any parsley probably much this year, and it's okay. I have some from a couple years ago, so I'm okay. Marigolds, and then basil, and this basil I picked it all off, and then now we have, this is bloomed out. I don't like it to go this far, but we'll see if we can maybe stop it from, it does better in the cooler weather, which it has been the last few days, but kind of pull these tops off. Maybe that will prevent it from flowering on out. We'll see. Smells good. Basil smells good. Calendula is kind of dying back. I don't think they really like the hot heat, but they have definitely produced some pretty flowers. I need to come out here and grab some more for drying, it looks like. Let's see, where are we? Okay, let me just back up so that I can have a little more space. We'll come over here first. So this is the potatoes. The purple Vikings are all in that bed. And then in these grow bags all around are the Kennebecs. And they're starting to die back. And the Kennebecs in the back are starting to die back. So hopefully we'll have a decent potato harvest this year. I am pretty hopeful for that. I'd like to get some more canned up. I loved having canned potatoes on hand. Let's flip around here, and we got more Romas, and then I've got a bunch of chamomile. I need to come out here and grab. I harvested a bunch, but I need to come out and harvest a bunch more because it looks like we've lost, we're losing some of the flowers on them, and I need to come out here and harvest that. But we've got a bunch of tomatoes if they all don't end up with blossom end rot. But just to show you, see the dark there on those. So I'm just afraid a lot of them are going to be that way, but it is what it is. I can't control Mother Nature, and I think that's mostly what's happened is Mother Nature. I've got my sage. I had harvested and dried it. And then I've got oregano, which I've already harvested and dried, spearmint, lemon balm, and then catnip. All of those I have picked, harvested, and dried. And then this may be finally an echinacea. Like, I have struggled to get anything to want to go in here, and this looks a little different than the weeds. So I'm leaving that because that may possibly be an echinacea. If so, I will be happy. Then in these beds here, I pulled out the broccoli and cauliflower. Well, I didn't have any cauliflower, so it was all broccoli in here. And I got a really nice broccoli harvest. I was pretty pleased with that. And then the onions, or you can see them kind of along the edges. They're doing decently. I don't know if they're doing any better out here than they are in the green stalks, to be honest. But they also were probably crowded out by the broccoli a lot until now. And so a few days ago, I went out here and I planted green beans for my sister. So this bed and then this bed have got a bunch of baby green beans that have sprouted. And so hopefully we're gonna get some green bean flowers. Not green bean flowers. I looked at my dahlias and that's the word flower came to brain. Yeah, words are difficult for me sometimes, y'all. But hopefully we're gonna have some green beans eventually. This is update on my dahlias. Very beautiful. This one here is, I'm hoping that maybe it'll survive. I don't know. It is I put these self-watering pots out here, and I will not do that in the future because this plant was waterlogged yesterday and I had to like pour off the water. Honestly, it was terrible. The one next to it was fine, but that one was like completely waterlogged. So, and then we got more calendula that I need to harvest and dry. And then let's see, we've got marigolds, we've got more tomatoes. And let's see, this one here is starting to blush actually, but take a peek at the bottom of it. We got blossom and rot. So I have bought some rot stop off of Amazon to see if that will help. If it's a calcium deficiency, that should help. If it is due to the rain, there is not a thing I can do to control it because yeah, the rain is obviously Mother Nature and I cannot control that. So if it's the inconsistent watering and the weirdness that we've been having with the rain, which it very well could be, there's not a lot that I can do about it, but I'm gonna try my best to prevent losing a bunch of tomatoes if I can anymore. And it's so like the first batch that has come on, those seem to be doing okay. It was like that second flush where we were getting like some weird rains and stuff. So we'll see. Here is this view of the Purple Viking bed. And then just more tomatoes, more Romas. Romas over there. I can see more blossom and rot over there. And Romas and my Saucy Ladies and Heat Master. I think that was the other variety. More tomatoes. See, like these right in here look okay. So I think they'll be all right. But that was the first flush before we got all the weird rains. And then some of these others just are looking funky. So we'll see. We'll see what we get as far as tomatoes go. And then here is the bed of the Kennebecs. And I've got a Kennebec. I have to come out here every so often and cover them up because I'm starting to see some potatoes coming up and I'm trying to keep them under the soil as best we can. I know it's not completely able to do it, but I'm trying to keep them covered up so they don't get the green coloring and the green spots. So yeah, here's a view of the jungle from this side and more tomato jungle. Just all the things. I want to get these potatoes out. Like, so I'm kind of like ready for them to have officially died back and me to pull them. It's not been, they go 90 to 110 days and I planted these the end of March. And so we're kind of more towards the middle to latter part of June. So yeah, it's past the middle of June, but we're not like to the end of June. That would be 90 days. So we've probably at least got, you know, 2 more weeks easily of potatoes before they completely die back. And the grow bags seem to be dying back slower than the others. But here's some more blossom end rot for y'all. So yeah, I'm kind of sad about all the tomatoes, but you know, it's part of gardening. You just never know what you're going to get. Sometimes, last year I had a great tomato year, which I'm thankful for that because I was able to produce a lot and get a lot put up, so I'm thankful for that. Then up here I've got some more herbs. This is a sweet mint that my sister bought me for my birthday when she was here, and then that is a bee balm, and then we've got these, and I cannot remember now what these were called. I thought I saved the little tag for them, but maybe I did not. I was looking to see if there was a tag with any of these. There's not. I can't remember what these are called, so sorry, but there's 3 reds and 3 purples, and they kind of just cycle through and bloom, and they're real pretty, and they add a little bit of color to the garden, so I'm happy about that. And then this is more calendula. It's kind of on a cycle where it's kind of dying back, so I don't know. I don't think calendula lasts all up in the heat. I think the heat really gets to it, so I may have gotten about most of the calendula that I'm going to get. So I kind of am leaving at this point, especially on this plant, since it really seems to be kind of dying back. We'll see if it pulls out of it, but I'm leaving it to see if I can get any kind of seeds from it, because I think in here is like where the seeds are, where they form, and they're kind of funky looking seeds, I think. So we'll see what happens. Then I threw in some grow bags. This is a zucchini, so a couple zucchini plants popped up there. And then we are gonna take a walk around to the other side of my garden. This is a yellow squash that I have there. And then I have another yellow squash over here. And then down in that grow bag, or right down there, is another zucchini plant. I guess we can go walk back there and take a peek at it. And then I'll show you what I have growing up around the trellis. And so that's another zucchini. And so my dad has been putting together my garden beds that I have already purchased. So these here, I haven't completely fully decided where they're gonna go, but he's been putting together my birdies raised beds, and I've got 2 more. So I bought a total of 4 of these beds, and these are 4 foot by 8 foot beds. So they have got a lot of space in them to grow stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think that a reason why I wanted him to go ahead and put these together was because I think that I have room to put 1 more there, and then I think I'll have room to put 1 more here, and then I'll move these, kind of adjust them where they need to go. And then that will leave me spot to put on either side of the trellis. Next year I'll buy these. I'm gonna put about a 2 foot wide bed to run along the sides on each side. So what I've got growing in my grow bags to hopefully get them to grow up the trellis is some cucumbers and some squash. So this first batch here is the Poinsett 76 cucumber, and I've got 2 plants growing in there and 2 plants growing in that one, and then hopefully they will meet in the middle and we'll see what kind of cucumbers I get. Then this one here is also a cucumber variety. It is a hybrid slicing cucumber, and I got the same variety on that side. So I'm hoping maybe I can actually have lots of pickles this year, because I discovered a pickle recipe that keeps the pickles nice and firm. And I pickled some last summer, and I opened a jar the other day and they were so crispy. So I was so happy. So I'm kind of hoping, I really like pickles, so I'm hoping maybe that I can have lots of pickles to can up. And then this here is a butternut squash. I got the Waltham butternut squash, and so I have 2 squash in that grow bag and then 2 in that one. So I'm hoping that I will be able, these will get big enough to where I can start training them to the trellis, and that they will grow up the trellis and basically become a beautiful bunch of vines and grow on the trellis. So we're not there yet. We've got a long ways to go, but that was kind of my hopes for this year, is to try it out and just see what I can get to grow in the grow bags and grow up the trellis. I wish that my cantaloupe were over here, because they would, next year they will be, but they would just love this area for sure. So, but yeah, so that's kind of an update on the whole garden. So yeah, we have got some of the beds put in. I won't be able to fill them with dirt this year, by no means. It's one thing at a time. I'm hoping that once I figure out where I'm going to settle these at, that I can put them, get them filled with dirt, because I've got some bags of dirt left. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, at least get that going. But yeah, so the main section of the garden it's all over here. I've got all this room now, and we're all squished in to this one whole section of the garden, because that is what I started out with. So, but yeah, so I thought you guys would enjoy seeing a little update on the June garden and what she's looking like. I'll have to keep you updated on the tomatoes, because I don't know what all is going to happen to my tomato plants this year. If we're going to have many tomatoes or not, we'll see. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and before I go, I just wanted to say keep tending, keep thriving, and let's grow together. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye, friends.